So in this video, we're going to get into how to connect your singular sound Aeros Loop Studio. If you've already owned a looper, or you're deep into the pedal board game and you know how everything works and everything connects, this video is probably not for you. But if you've just gotten your Aeros and you're wondering, how do I get sound out of this? How do I hook it up? It doesn't have a headphone jack, that kind of thing. Then hopefully this video can help you out. In the most simple terms, you have to get sound in. You're either going to be plugging in maybe a guitar, a keyboard, a drum machine, maybe a mic. Either way, the simplest connection would be, let's just say this is a guitar. If you're just running a guitar straight in, it's not going to sound the greatest, but it will still work. So let's just say you're running a guitar straight in. You would go into your left mono input. Now the other option is, another scenario might be you have something like this drum machine here, which is a stereo device. You could plug that in like this, and you have a stereo input going in. Other scenario might be, let's say on this side you have a drum machine or a synthesizer. In that case, you could go into your aux in, which is a stereo input. So in that case, you'd want to use a TRS cable to go stereo into this input. Another option is, a lot of you might have some sort of modeler like this Line 6 HX Stomp here. If you're like me and you like your stereo effects, you could run stereo out of this. You could run mono if you wanted a mono rig. So you would go out of there, and again, into your stereo inputs here. Okay, so let's say you have that set up. Okay, how do we get sound out of this thing? You can't just hook headphones into it. One scenario might be, let's say you have a guitar amp laying around, or maybe a powered PA speaker. In that case, you could run mono out here. You could run into one guitar amp, one powered PA speaker. Or you could run, let's say you have 2 amps, you could run stereo into 2 amps. Say you have two PA speakers, you could run a stereo rig straight out of here, straight into 2 powered PAs. You could also run with a TRS split Y cable. You could run out of your aux stereo out into similar devices. The other thing you might do, you might have a headphone amp. You could run out of either of those outputs into a headphone amp, and you just play and you'd be able to hear yourself through the headphones. You might be like a lot of us. You might have an audio interface somewhere in your house, in your studio. Could be any audio interface. And in that case, you could run through that, and you could listen through your computer, through your studio monitors, or you could hook up to your headphone jack and listen through there. So this here is a 2-input audio interface. So if it were me, I would go into these inputs straight out here and go stereo into that audio interface, and then you can and that's actually the first way I set mine up when I got it home, because it was late at night. I really wanted to try it, but everybody in the house was sleeping. I went straight into my audio interface and put on my headphones and had myself a few good hours of fun. So hopefully that helps to get you going. These are just some very basic and quick ways to set this up. I hope that helps. I actually use mine with a mixer on my pedal board, which really unlocks a lot more capabilities. And I will have a video coming up getting into the nitty-gritty of how to hook this thing up with a mixing board. So I hope that helps. Happy looping.